So before going into the dynamic CRM application, we should know the component names of dynamic CRM tool, because like here we have different modules like the sales, service, marketing, right? So in further classes, we'll discuss about like a module by module, like sales module, service module, and marketing module. During this discussion, I'll use some terms like with respect to the CRM. I'll use some words like entities, forms, views, charts, dashboard. So first of all, we should know the names, right? So what are those names? I'll tell you. So here, first, in interview question, interviewers will ask, what is the modules you have worked on? You can say sales module I worked on. Sales, service, marketing, or we can call it as modules in the system, right? Sales, service, marketing, these are called modules, right? Modules. So I'm just typing it here. If somebody asks like which are the modules you have worked on, you can say sales, service, marketing, right? So now in the modules, what are the options we have? Let's say if I go to sales, I have some options. If I go to service, I have some other options. If I have a marketing, I have some options. What is this options? Options means links here. We should not call these are links. We should call it as entities. Is it entities? Lead entity, marketing list entity, campaign entity, product entity. Okay. So like this, so many entities are there in the system. So on top of the entities only, like CRM application is developed. Okay. So entities are very, very important. Okay. So in the entities, what other options we have? If I click on entity, some random design is coming here. Okay. 1 second. One person is not able to join. Just a second. Okay. I'm sorry. So here like okay. So if I click on entity, I can see the records. I can I can create a record. So all other things we can do. Like what are the options here? What is the names of these options? So first option is buttons. Here you see these are called ribbon buttons. We should call it as ribbon buttons. I'm just typing it here. Ribbon buttons. These buttons, like these ribbon buttons, are useful for the records here. If I want to delete multiple records, I can delete multiple records here. If I want to edit, I can edit. So these buttons we call it as ribbon button. Whenever I say that we need to use a ribbon button, means you should think, okay, this is a ribbon button. Ribbon buttons are available in a multiple places. 3 places we have. This ribbon buttons we call it as home level ribbon buttons. That's why I placed in the bracket home level. Right now, these home level ribbon buttons are applicable for the multiple records which you're gonna create. After the ribbon button, what other things we have? Here we have views and subgrid. This is called a view. What is the view here and what is the subgrid here? Subgrid means it will hold the records, multiple records. As of now, I'm having 2 records. So if I click on new button, I can create one more record here. You see, test. Okay, test record, just save and close. This record will be created in the system. So let's see, let's creating the record now. So the record is created and the test record is displaying in this test record. You see, in the subgrid, right? Subgrid means it will hold the record. It will hold the multiple records in the system. Okay, it will hold multiple records. In this subgrid, if you want to filter the records based on some filter criteria, you can use views. Views like active view, inactive view, and my connections view, vendors view. That means some filter criteria. Active view means only active account will be displayed. Alright. Inactive account means only inactive accounts will be displayed here. You see, correct? Correct, right? So only active and inactive, or you can choose other things like where we have a different filter criteria behind this. So based on the view, my subgrid will display the data in the system. Okay. So because in future we will customize all the things. Modules, entities, ribbon buttons, home level, views, sub. You see, these names we don't know before this, right? If I use these terms without knowing this, it's no use, right? So that's why we should know these names first. Okay, modules and entities, ribbon buttons, and the views and the subgrid. I hope you are clear on this. These ribbon buttons are like many, like based on the selection of the records. I can see, you see, right? I can see multiple buttons here, right? So, and also like we have a search this view, right? In this search this view, you can search the records based on the letters. Let's say test I have entered. In this test, you see here, I can use here. I can search the records. So what are the names I'm giving in this text box? With the same name, I can search the records. Right now, okay. So here I can add a columns in case if you want to add a columns like account name, main, phone, city, primary. Right? In case if you want to add a new column, you can choose add rating. I have done it. So rating also will come apply. A rating also will come in the last. See, in the subgrid itself, because these columns are already available in the entities, right? Only those columns we can add it in the subgrid. Right? Account name, main, phone, city, primary contact, primary contact. In case if you want to add a filter, you can use the filter, edit filter. These are filter means what type of records you want to search. Let's say you want to search active records or inactive records that can be filtered here. Just a second. Sorry, some students are not able to join. Okay. 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 So here in the subgrid, we can add additional columns in case if you need. And then here, if I open any record, we have a different design here. Since it is a business application, so we don't have much colors in it. Like it's a professional way we need to make it. Here there are some options again. Here you see we have a ribbon buttons again. We already seen the ribbon button in the home level side, right? Home level subgrid side. So inside of the record also we have a ribbon buttons. This is called like form level ribbon button. These form level ribbon buttons are useful to the single record, the record which you opened here. Okay, you see here account 123 I have opened here, right? Okay, This account 123 record I opened, and then if I want to close this record, I can use save and close. I can create a new record. I can assign this record. Only these actions are applicable to this particular record only. So that's why these buttons we call it as form level ribbon buttons. Okay. Next one. Below this, we have forms actually. You see here in the entity itself, we have options called forms in the entity. I can start from here. Yes. In the entities, if I open any record, I can have forms in it, like account form, account for interactive experience form, sales insight form, timeline wall control form, account for multi-session experience form. Like these forms will have a different designs, like different fields, different tabs, and different sections. Because some client wants some different designs with the different forms, right? So at that time, so we can design like whatever you want, you can design at that time, right? So that's why you see this account for interactive experience form. I have summary section and details tab here. But if I go to account form, I can see the different design and different tabs. So these options we call it as forms in the system. Okay, these are called forms. In the forms, what are the options we have? In the forms, we have an option called body and header section. What is a header section? What is a body section? The section which is scrolling here, that is called body section here. You see, it will scroll, like if in case if you want to move from one tab to another, this one also will have the scrolling option if you have more views. This option called body section. Body will have scrolling option if you have a more fields. But here you can see header section, this one. Header section will always visible to the end users even though you are scrolling from top to bottom. Okay. Okay, here is top to bottom. See, this is always visible, right? So this is called header section. If somebody asks you to add some fields here, you should ask, you want me to add a body section or you want me to add in the header section? Okay. Now in the body, what are the options we have? In the body, we have tabs in the system. These names are called tabs. Summary tab, project price list tab, okay, assets and location tab, details tab, servicing tab, like this. So in the tabs, what other options we have? In the tabs, we have options called sections. Account information section and address section. So like this. Okay. So here in these sections, what other things we have in the sections, like we have a controls. See, account name is a text box, branch is this text box, this is the whole number field. So different type of controls will be there, like a text box, option set, multi-line of option set. So like that, right? You see, this is a big text box. So different type of controls can be added into the sections. You see, this is an order actually. Entities, forms. In the forms, we have a header section, body section. In the tabs again, we have a sections. In the sections, we have a controls. You see, this much level. That we should know these names. If I talk from this like module, entities, home level ribbon buttons, views, subgroup. Again, if you go inside of the record, we have a form level ribbon buttons, forms, headers, body, tab, section, and content. Right. So like this. So like this, we have different things here. Okay, what other options we have? Controls means most of them know like text boxes and option set, two option set, right? But coming to the CRM application, we have a different application called different control name called lookup. You see, lookup is nothing but it's a referencing of another entity. Now I'm in account entity. Okay, I'm in account entity. In account entity, I want to attach the contact record. How can I attach the contact record? This entity is different. This entity is different, right? If you want to attach one entity record to another entity, we can take help of lookup. You see, this is a lookup means it is retrieving all the contacts entity data. If you want to check the contact entity data, what you should do? Like you should go to contact entity and you can check. All right. Let me check. Just a second. So I'm going to the contact entity here. I can read the records right here. I can read the record. But in case in the account entity, if you want to read the record, you can use the lookup. This is a special control in the Dynamics CRM application. Okay. In other languages, we don't see mostly we have a procedure to create this lookups in the CRM application. In the further classes, we will discuss. Okay. So I hope you're clear till now, right? This names on that. So now what next here? The next one here is we have another option called related. If you go to related, we can see the number of entities. In the entities, let's say for example, account entity is having a relationship with these many entities. That's the reason these entities are coming in the related section. Okay, I'm talking about the contacts now. Again, subgrid will be opened here. Initially, we have seen the subgrid in the main page, right? This is called home level subgrid. But inside of the record also, I can see the subgrid here. This subgrid, we can call it as associated subgrid. In the related section, what are the subgrids we are seeing? That we can call it as associated subgrid. Right? Associated subgrids will be inside of the record or in the related section. See, this is also subgrid. I can select multiple records and then buttons also we have for this subgrid. These buttons we can call it as ribbon buttons in associated level. Associated subgrid level ribbon buttons. Why I'm saying like in 3 levels now, if somebody asks you to add a ribbon button, new ribbon button, in which place you will add? Home level you want me to add, or a form level you want me to add, or associated subgrid level you want me to add? That we need to ask the question, right? So that's why I'm just telling like in a different places we have 3 things. Okay. Now, okay. So here this button is applicable to this record. These ribbon buttons are applicable to the subgrid which are opening here. You can search the records in case if you want to search here is SDF. So I want to search the record with this name. It will be searched in the subgrid, right? So this is called associated subgrid. Based on the view also, you can filter the record in this subgrid. Like how we have it in the main subgrid, in the same way, we can filter based on the associated subgrid view. Okay, so now I hope you are clear on this component names: associated subgrid, associated views, and associated ribbon buttons. So based on the requirement, you should customize that particular component in the system. Okay. Now, what other things we have? In the account entity or any entity, if you open any record, we have an option called activities. You see, activities. What is this activities? For this customer, you can book an appointment or you can send an email. You can have a phone call with the customer. You can create a task with this customer. You can book a alert for this customer. So like this, we have activities in the system. So which customer you want to perform some activities that can be tracked here. Let's say I want to have a phone call with this customer that can be tracked by creating the phone call. You click on this phone call. Okay, here is subject to discuss about like AC or washing machine. Calling from my name, call to this customer. It's an outgoing call. 30 minutes duration. Is it a priority like low, high, or we can decide? And then to which date I need to complete. Tomorrow is the last date. You just say phone call activity will be created. Then my manager checks this record. Okay, this salesperson is going to have a call with this customer to convince him. Like that, my manager will come to me. Right? So these activities can be checked separately or can be opened from here. If I click on this, like open record, click on this activity. That phone call activity can be opened from. Right. Regarding is what? Regarding means on which entity record you have created this activity, that can be checked here. So in account 123, I have created this activity. So that's why in the regarding field of this activity, this will be set here. See, these activities can be not only created from this place. In case if you want to create an activities, you can go to activities, you can create from here like task, email, appointment, phone call. Let's say I want to create a phone call here. Subject like wash and machine related query. Call to which customer you want to. Okay, phone number, that particular customer phone number. Here, this phone call activity to which person you want to attach? Accounts entity or a contact entity or a lead entity. So which entity record you want to attach? That can be decided here. There are 15 or 20 type of entity records can be selected. Accounts entity you want to attach, or campaigns, or cases, or contacts. You see, there are number of it. Leads. Let's say I want to create this phone call activity for the lead. So save this here. This phone call activity will be created in the this particular lead. This is the lead record. This is the phone call, wash and mission related. If the phone call is completed, you can set close activity. So activity is closed, completed. So most of the options are available in the CRM system. Okay. So here okay. So I just shown like phone call. In case if you want to send an email, you just click on email here. Just from to right from my address to this particular person. I want to send the email. and CC, BCC or subject like washing machine inquiry, something subject. You can put the text, whatever the body text you want to put, and then you send. If the user email address is valid, the email will be sent to the other users if you take a license. Like Gmail only, like the username and password. So like I mean from address to address subject. In the same way, you can send an email from the CRM system also. Okay. So this is outlines only, but we are not into the actual application side. So we need to know these names. What is the activities? What we can do with the activities, and what is the entities? What is the forms? Where are exist like what is the sections, and what is the controls? What is the header section, and what is the body section, and what is the ribbon buttons? What is the views, subgrids, associated subgrids? These names we should know. If you know these names, then only we can go into the application side. We can discuss more into the application side, like the sales module, like the marketing module, service module. We can discuss. You know all these things. Okay. I hope you are clear on these names. If you have any questions, like you can ask in this these names. On any like Ishwar or Madhav Reddy, MD, Krishna, Nagarnath, Tulsi Ram. Any doubts? Okay. So, like I'm saying here, like I have a very limited entities I can see here, but I want to see all the entities in one place. How can I how can I check all the entities in one place? Here we have an option called Advanced Find. Here is from this Advanced Find, you can check all the entities data. Let me open this. It's loading now. Let's see. It's loading it. Still, it's loading. Let's see. Just a second. Okay, so we have an advanced find, right? So here in the advanced find, here you see look for option is there. You see, in this look for option, I can see all the entities data in one place. You see, account entity. In case if you want to retrieve account entity data, You just click on account and click on result. Whatever the records we are creating in the account entity, that data can be checked. You see, there are 100 records are created in the account entity. Right. So you can create, in case not only from here, you see, we have an account entity, right? Account entity means you will come here and you will click on create a new button, right? So if you click on a new account, here also we can do this. Right. From here also you can create a new records. Click on this new and you can create a new records in the system. Okay. So here you can save, let's say, test account 567. Save and close. You see, there are 101 records. Right. So like this advanced find also will be used, like if you want to create a new record in case if the place is not sufficient for the other entities. From the advanced find, you can come and you can perform your actions on the records. We have a number of options in the further classes we're going to discuss. Okay. So this is like outlines of the dynamic CRM application. Like before going into the CRM application, we should know the names. Okay, then only I can start the sales module, service module, and other modules. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask, because I need to start the sales module in one class itself, because I cannot start now because we have another 10 minutes. But in the 10 minutes, like if you have any questions, you can ask. Like attendee Madhava Reddy, MD Karishma,
Can you
Meghana,
please, hi,
Pavan Kumar.
hello?
Yeah, hi, Uday Kumar.
Uday. Yeah. Can you please go through once the grids, what you said, the ribbon button said there are three ribbon buttons, right? You mentioned on
Yeah,
the Word document. So one was home. Oh, so like that. Yeah, just show me. One
this
is
one,
home.
right?
Yeah. Just go through the first three ribbon buttons.
Okay. So if I click on any entity here, I can see the buttons here, right? So this is called home level ribbon button. See, not only for account, like if you click on contact entity, I can see the same button. These buttons we can call it as home level ribbon buttons. Okay. The subgrid which you are seeing here is home level subgrid, main subgrid I can say. Okay. But if you go into any record here, in the record side also we have a buttons. These are called form level ribbon button because we are opening the record, right? Right. So these are called form level ribbon buttons. If you go to related section, we can find a subgrids. In that place, we can call like associated subgrid and associated ribbon buttons, subgrid ribbon buttons. Clear?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So these are the three places where we have ribbon buttons and subgrids. Any other doubts or clarification, Pawan?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah, like from same time, planning to take a session tomorrow also. So please join on time. I think some persons are not joined properly, like still not, they are not connected to the audio. Okay. So please join on time, like 9 p.m. daily, so that we can continue.